Good morning from the Bali airport. Today we're actually flying to Surabaya, which is in East Java. So this was actually one of the most spontaneous trips we've ever taken, only booking the flights the day before. We also didn't arrange any transportation beforehand, so that would be our next challenge. We have just landed here after a 1-hour flight from Bali, and now we're looking for a car rental place. We couldn't find a private driver anywhere, so we're trying to find a car rental now. Also, this was the first flight I've been on where we landed earlier than we took off. Alright, so we just arrived in Jodipan village in Malang. The village is actually pretty small and has these cute streets all painted rainbow that you can walk through. This town has become somewhat of a tourist attraction here in East Java. There's not much food options in the village itself, just a few places selling snacks. But overall, I definitely recommend checking out the Rainbow Village. And now the sun is set and it's time to head to Mount Bromo. Alright, so we just arrived in the town near Mount Bromo, and we tried to check into our hotel, but they said they didn't have our booking, so now we're walking to try to find another hotel. It's freezing here. To explain what's going on here, when we got to our hotel, we were told it doesn't exist, so we found another hotel nearby with the help of some locals. We also didn't book a jeep tour in advance, but fortunately one of the locals said he could take us.
3 o'clock.
Alright, it is 9:30 p.m. and now we are looking for some food. I don't know if there's much open, but I haven't eaten in like 8 hours, so we have to get some food now. What a crazy travel day it's been. Alright, going to sleep now. See you in 4 hours. Good morning from Cemoro, Lawang town. It's about 2:50 a.m. We woke up at 2:30 and our jeep is here to pick us up. You can already hear the jeep starting to go up the mountain. It's complete chaos down there, so we just have to find ours now. Alright, so now it's about 5 a.m. Our jeep driver drove us like a couple hours ago to the sunrise viewpoint here on Mount Bromo. Now you can start to see the mountain behind me. It's actually very crowded here. We were down at that viewpoint. There's people selling hot chocolate, tea, coffee, ramen, and it's just super loud, so we found this little area where we hiked up a bit, and now we have this area to ourselves to watch the sunrise. If you plan on coming to Bromo, I definitely recommend arranging a jeep to take you up the mountain. You'll probably have to wake up around 2:30 because most of the jeeps leave at 3 a.m. and you'll have lots of time once you get to the mountain to hike and then wait for the sunrise.
Pretty cold.
Now it's still only 5:45. The sun is completely up, so you can see the mountain, and we're about to head back down to the jeep, which is going to take us to that crater. For our jeep tour, we paid 1 million rupiah for the 3 of us. It was 500,000 for the jeep, and then 500,000 for the entrance fee. There are also 2 different viewpoints that you can go to. One path that goes through the village, just up this trail, which is what we did, and then the other path goes through the sea of sand, and then it takes you to King Kong Hill. When you come here, you'll see lots of jeeps parked on the side of the road, and they wait here while you go climb up to the sunrise. I also noticed that there are a lot of locals here and barely any tourists. I think it's because of the pandemic. There are not many international tourists, but still tons of Indonesians here. Back in our teal Jeep. Next, we drove into the Sea of Sand to see Mount Bromo up close. After just a short hike, we got to the rim of the volcano and we could see inside the crater. Although this area was also pretty crowded, there were a lot less people once we got to the top of the volcano. It is now at 9 a.m. and we've just rested at our hotel room for a little, packed up our stuff, and we're eating breakfast here at this place in town called Little Lava. And after breakfast, we're gonna head to Madakaripura Waterfall. So we have arrived at the Madakaripura Waterfall trail. When you get to the parking lot of the waterfall, you'll have to take a motorbike taxi about 4 kilometers down to the actual start of the trailhead, and this will cost 10,000 rupiah each way. There are tons of guys with motorbikes there that will take you, so that won't be a problem. You'll also have to pay a 45,000 rupiah entrance fee if you're a foreign tourist. Also, I definitely recommend buying a poncho at the entrance. It only costs 10,000 rupiah and it's totally worth it because you get super wet in the waterfall. Be sure to wear waterproof shoes because your feet will get really wet. There are parts where you're walking in knee-deep water. At the entrance, they also tell you that you need a local guide, which I don't think you actually need, but you can decide. Overall, I would recommend checking out this waterfall. It definitely gets expensive with all the fees, motorbike taxi, local guide, and ponchos, but it is definitely one of the most impressive waterfalls I've ever seen. And this was when things took a turn for the worst. The drive to our next destination was only supposed to be 3 hours, but we ran into a huge traffic jam with no way around it. So eventually we decided to pull over and get some food. We just got stuck in the longest traffic jam ever. Here in East Java we haven't been moving for over an hour, so we just stopped, got some food. Now we're gonna just eat and try to find a way to get to our hotel quickly. But this traffic does not move at all. After passing the traffic, we were getting a lot closer, but then we found out we couldn't continue on that road because of a broken bridge. So we had to go all the way back around the other way, turning this drive into a 12-hour journey through the night. Finally checking into our hotel at 3:30 a.m. Good morning from our last day in Java. Today we are hiking to Tumpak Sewu waterfall and maybe a couple of the other waterfalls in the area. And after only a 400-meter hike, we made it to the beautiful Tumpak Sewu waterfall. Now, although this view was nice, if you really wanted to experience this waterfall, you'd have to hike on a very treacherous path all the way to the bottom. Alright, we are hiking down now on the path to the waterfall. It's a very sketchy dirt path and the ground is really wet. We'll see how far we can go. I think there will be some bamboo bridges. We got to the first bamboo bridge. Not even bamboo. So slippery. Then you'll encounter 2 waterfall river crossings like this, where you have to hold onto the rope while you're walking along the waterfall. This is probably the hardest part of the hike, and you'll want to take your shoes off or bring waterproof shoes. The last part of the hike involves 2 river crossings before you'll finally arrive at one of the most beautiful views of your life. Welcome to the Tumpak Sewu waterfall. Alright, so our last stop is Kapas Biru Waterfall, which is just a 10-minute drive from Tumpak Sewu, the one we were just at. We actually don't have time to hike all the way to the waterfall because we have to catch our flight in Surabaya in a few hours. So instead, I just decided to fly my drone there to get some shots of the waterfall before hiking back up the trail. And now we are finally back to the Surabaya airport after a very long drive once again. And this concludes our 3 days in Java. We'll see you back in Bali.